Thank you. Forgotten my story. But I'll remember it in a second. Before I start telling it, I want to thank my wife who has given me permission to tell this story in a public venue. It starts on a Saturday morning in June, many years ago. It's a great day, and my wife and my 3-year-old son and I are in the farmers market in Madison, Wisconsin, where we live. Madison is the state capital, and the farmers market is built around the Capitol building. It's a gorgeous setting, and the farmers market is full of fresh vegetables, Wisconsin cheeses, arts and crafts for hippies, and fresh muffins and coffee for yuppies. And my son is on my shoulder, and he and I are sharing a muffin together, and he's laughing his head off because all his crumbs are going into my hair, and he's rubbing them in there. And we hang out there for about an hour, and my wife says, you know, I gotta go home, I need a nap. Now this is completely justified because on this day, she is officially 9 months pregnant. That's what we call the due date. And we've had a son already, we know about due dates, they come and they go, so we don't have really serious expectations, but we're ready. We go home, Sally takes a nap, Ben and I play in the living room till he falls asleep, and then I do too. But later in the day, dinner time, Sally announces, hey, this is a contraction. We're cool, we've done this before. We take out a watch, we know what to do, you time them. And about 90 minutes later, they're every 5 minutes. So we know it's time to go. Ben goes to a babysitter, we're off to the hospital where as soon as we arrive, they stop. Nothing. We wait. A nurse examines my wife and says, well, you're fine, but those must have been false labor contractions. And my wife, who knows better, says, no, they were real. And the nurse says, I'm sure they were, dear. But you're not having your baby tonight, so you and your husband can go home. I know we're not doing that. So we go out the hospital a couple blocks over to State Street, which is the scene in Madison. It's the street connecting the Capitol with the university, and it's where everyone goes. And we head down the street past one of the bars that we call the Bar of Pigs. We call it the Bar of Pigs because it has stools in the front, right by the glass, and the men who sit on those stools sometimes hold up cards with numbers rating the appearance of the women who walk by the bar. Yes, hence the Bar of Pigs. But they ignore us, and we just keep going to what is our ultimate destination, of course, the ice cream store. Madison is great for ice cream. The dairy school makes a lot. It's wonderful, and the place is jammed. So Sally waits outside. I go in to cut through the crowds and buy the ice cream. And I turn away after paying for 2 dishes, and there's this commotion by the front of the store. People are looking out the window at my wife, who's leaning on the window, going, Now, I admit I should not have laughed, but it was a little ironic that we'd come so far, and it was a little funny. And I only laughed until I noticed the women in the store looking at me. And I slunk out, and Sally and I head up the street slowly. I'm eating ice cream. And we get about a half a block, and she says, here they come again. Now, it had only been 2 minutes, so I'm excusing myself because I stupidly said, are you sure? And then she was looking at me the same way as those other women, and she puts her hands on the glass of the Bar of Pigs. And those front seats are empty, just like that. They want nothing to do with this experience at all. And I'm finishing the ice cream, and the contractions are done, and we head on off to the corner and turn toward the hospital. And we reach Washington Ave. It's a big street with a traffic light, and it's green, so we go. But of course, we don't make it. And halfway across the street, the contractions start, and we stop. And there's nothing to lean on, so now we're holding each other like this. And the light changes, and we got cars going this way, and some of them, they're honking at us. I don't know what they think we're doing, but, and it stops, the light changes, and we go off, and it's not so far anymore, but we are now scared. We are not as cool as we were at dinner when we're just saying, may I time these, please? You know, this is, and I'll make a long story short. We get to the hospital. Sally is on a gurney in the elevator, and in 15 minutes, we're holding our baby girl, Kate. Now, you may think you know why this is a glorious day, but as Eli mentioned, you should take note of all the high points in a day, even the small ones. And I tell you, when you're walking around in the sunshine with your 3-year-old son laughing on your shoulders, that's one of those moments where you stop and say, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. And if you're a parent of a toddler, you might remember that the idea of an afternoon nap where you all sleep, that's like heaven on earth. I don't want to make too big a deal of this one, but I got 2 helpings of Wisconsin ice cream that evening, and that was really special. It didn't happen too often. I don't have to tell you about the pleasure we got from clearing out the bar of pigs. Standing in that road, and knowing in the moment that we were this close to delivering our girl on the double yellow line, that is still the most surreal moment of our lives. And the ultimate satisfaction was that a couple of minutes before our daughter was born, we are looking at the nurse who sent us away so condescendingly less than an hour ago. She has to deliver the baby because we didn't give her time to call, much less wait for a doctor. And she's looking at us, and we're looking at her, and we get to say, "We told you so." And of course, my daughter was born. She was beautiful, healthy. She's been a joy. But I think she's special because she was born on a really glorious day.